All right, perfect. So we are live. So thank you everyone for joining us today. My name is Emmanuel Davila. I have the privilege of serving as Director of Business Growth Services here at the Southland Development Authority. Today, we're really excited to present tax strategies for truckers, which we have partnered with DSB Solutions, and we have Danielle Cherie Brown here with us today, who's an expert in all things tax strategies for truckers, obviously. She'll be taking on most of the presentation today and sharing some valuable insights with you all. Please feel free to drop questions in the Q&A section. We'll make sure to leave time at the end to go through that. So today we'll be discussing a little bit about the SDA and what it is that the Southland Development Authority does, and more specifically our department, Business Growth Services, and what we do to help entrepreneurs in the Southland and Cook County. And then we'll turn the presentation over to Danielle, who will go over documentation, annual tax dates, income deduction, expenses, depreciation. And then we also have a survey for you all to take that'll help us inform the way that we do our programming for 2024 and bring you some resources. Next slide, please. So the Southland Development Authority is a nonprofit business organization, more specifically an economic development agency that was created to grow the economy of the South suburbs. So on your left-hand side of the screen, next to the words there, you'll see the map of the Southland. And it was launched in 2019 by a group of business, civic, and political leaders across the South suburbs to be able to really drive inclusive economic growth and transformative growth for the region. We focus on investment in industry, workforce, housing, and communities. Next slide, please. So our team, Business Growth Services, does a few things, and it's all designed to advise, connect, and educate. So we provide special programs to connect entrepreneurs to different opportunities. We provide tailored expert consulting and advise businesses on a one-on-one basis. And we educate folks through opportunities like this webinar and also group training sessions and cohort programs. Next slide, please. And we've got a couple of upcoming events. I'll go ahead and turn it over to one of our relationship managers, Chris Cooks, who oversees our transportation, distribution, and logistics arm of our Business Growth Services. He'll be able to share more information on that.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our presentation today. My name is Christopher Cooks. I'm a relationship manager with Business Growth Services, and that is part of the SDA. We work directly with business owners under our Business Growth Services team, and we're happy to bring you guys in and get our presentation today. We have a few events coming up to take note of. We have Unleashing Your Entrepreneurial Leadership, March 19th, 5:30 to 7:30 at Sip Wine Bar and on Oak Park Avenue in Tinley Park. And then we also have She Inspire, Women of Impact Inspiring Change on March 28th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Hazelcrest Municipal Building on 183rd Street in Hazelcrest. And those are all to celebrate Women's History Month here in March. On to the next, we have our business needs survey. And this survey here, you can, you'll be able to see in the chat shortly a link, but you can also scan the QR code. This survey here, when you take it, helps us understand the resources that you need and what kind of business you have. And we are able to reach out to you and find, help you find some solutions to the challenges and the opportunities that you have as you grow your business into the next stage. So with that, I want to introduce our presenter today is Miss Danielle Cherie Brown from DSB Solutions, and she's going to give us a wonderful presentation on tax strategies for truck drivers. Danielle, take it away.
Hello. First and foremost, I just want to welcome everyone that is here or that will watch it, the replay and all of that. I just want to say welcome. Thank you for giving me your time today. I know we're all busy, right? And especially if you're on the road driving, like you have to pull over and it takes time to watch this. So I just want to say thank you for giving me this space. Next slide, please. So You can read the screen, so I'm not going to reread the screen for you, but just in summary, my name is Danielle Cherie Brown, and I'm the founder of DSB Solutions. And we started way back in 2007. And I simply just started this business with a simple mission, and it was just to help people. That was all I wanted to do. And so, I have been open to this experience to help people in the way of accounting, bookkeeping, CFO advisory service, and tax preparations. And what makes me so unique in what I do and my company does is that I understand the functions of business. I understand truck drivers. I understand entrepreneurship. So I'm all here for it, and I'm ready to go. But speaking of help, right? Next slide, please. I just want to say, like, I am so grateful for SDA. Like, this opportunity is amazing for me. And so I just want to say thank you, Chris, who is my business coach, but we'll talk about that later. And thank you, Manny, for this opportunity, and like the entire SDA staff. I want to thank the network. I want to thank every person that this email went out to that showed up for me today, right? Because I believe in building community. I believe in transformational relationships. And so just thank you all for being here. Thank you, Manny. Thank you, Chris, again at SDA. All right. So let's go, because I'm not going to keep you long, right? Because we're all tired. It's the end of the day. And the truck drivers, you all have got up at 3:30, 2:35 a.m. I don't know. But before we get going, I just want to discuss some due dates, right? So today is March 12th. And as we can see, there is a due date that is approaching March 15th. And that is for partnerships, multi-member LLCs, and S corporations. So if you file form, like, go look at your old tax returns. And so if you file what's called a 1065, form 1065, if you file that, or if you file an 1120S, that means that you have a due date coming March 15th in 3 days. And so it was imperative for SDA to get me on here for you all to tell you to go file an extension if you are not ready to file that tax return on the 15th, right? 3 days. If you need help, contact SDA, or I will have information at the end if you would like to reach out to me to get some help with that. I just want to let you know, file that extension. Now, extensions is not a extension to pay, right? But it's an extension to file the form, right? Just buys you a little bit time with IRS so you don't get a penalty for a failure to file. Okay, so I just want to alert you as far as March 15th. Now, we're going to go quick on the rest because it's very important. So April 15th is for individuals, single member LLC. So if you are a single member LLC or you are a C corporation, then your due date is April 15th. Those forms, individual 1040, single member LLC, a 1040 with a Schedule C. Corporations, you're going to file an 1120, right? These are form numbers that I'm giving you. And you can always go back, but if you're new to trucking and new to this entity type, then you don't know. And so I'm giving you form numbers. And so you can feel free to replay this if you need to and rewind later. And I'm not going to get into the other tax dates outside of, if you file the extension, you get a 6 months to file the actual tax return. All right. So if you have any questions, call me. Thank you, Chris, for the next slide. So what do you need to file your taxes? Like, Danielle, what type of information will you ask me when I come to file my taxes? So this is just basic information that you should have available for your tax preparer. I hope you choose me, but if you don't, it's fine. Just get your taxes filed and get them filed on time. So I would need to know your business entity type. And we kind of talked about that on the previous screen. Like, if you are a single member LLC, or if you are 1120, if you are a corporation or S Corp, we need to know that to file your taxes. We need to know, what date did you start your business? So what date did you become an LLC? What date did you become a corporation? We also need to know, like, contact information. If you have any partners, remember, partnership returns are due on the 15th. So if you're a multi-member, that means you have a partner, right? And so you're going to file form 1065 again. And so if that is you, then we need to know how many partners you have, their contact information, the percentage of how much do they own of the business, okay? We're also going to need your business's social security number. What do you mean, Danielle? I mean, we're going to need an EIN number from you. So it's the number that you got when you first started your business. It's on form SS4 from Internal Revenue Service. If you're not sure about your entity type and you're like, I just don't even know where to start, where you can start first is you can research your business on the state in which you established it, right? So if you are in the state of Illinois, then you will go to Secretary of State, you can search your business, and it will help you to discover your entity type. Next slide, please. So that was information that we need, right? So what type of documentation, like what are the type of things that an accountant may ask me for to prepare my taxes? So some of those things are financial statements. What do I mean? What's a financial statement? A profit and loss statement and a balance sheet. And if you don't have that, that's fine. Speak to a tax professional, call SDA. Listen, Chris knows what he's talking about. He will definitely help you, okay? But other things that you can use is bank statements. If you have 1099s that showed how much money you made from employers and things like that. So basically, we just want to know how much money you made and how much money you expended. Like, what did you spend and how much did you make? And so to help you, like, you need this information to help reduce your tax liability. So get the documentation, profit and loss statements. If you don't have it, don't fret, right? Don't stress, because every business does not have financial statements, but Chris can help you get financial statements. Listen, call SDA, you all, he can help you. So if you don't have financial statements, your accountant can use your bank statements, but it may cost you a little bit more money, all right? So don't fret. If you have 1099s, like, just give them what you have that shows your income and how much you spent. Next slide. So here, income, I want to make key rules here. So let's listen, because like when you're filling out grants and you're doing all this paperwork and everything, truck drivers, like income, revenue, gross profit, like what's what? It's all the same. So income, revenue, and gross profit are exactly the same. So don't let those words like concern you or confuse you or make you feel bad, right? So internal revenue wants to know how much income, revenue, gross profit, like how much did you make for the year? How many loads did you carry, right? How much money did you bring in for your business? So we need that information again, going back to the documentation. That is where the profit and loss statement, the balance sheet, the bank statements, the 1099s, those are your income documents that you can use to file your taxes. So let's say you make $100 in income, right? And you spend $50. Do you pay taxes on the $100 or do you pay taxes on the remaining balance? I wonder. So you pay taxes on the remaining balance. You pay taxes on the profit. So if you make $1 million, right, and you spend $1 million, right, then you have nothing to pay taxes on. But be careful, like, because you definitely want to talk to Chris about your growth strategy before you go zeroing out and not having any profit, right? Because depending on your growth strategy, it can definitely hinder you later. So I'm just telling you, I know this is like maybe an information overload, but call Chris. He will help you understand everything, right? And stay tuned, because I have some freebies to help you along the way. So come on and lean in, because next we're going to talk about reducing your tax liability. So what can you deduct? What can you deduct? So let's talk about what deductions are first. Deductions are expenses, right? Deductions are expenses that help reduce tax liability, right? So I just told you how you can make $1 million and you can have all these expenses, and then you only pay taxes on what's remaining in the end. So the expenses are what you get to deduct, right? And so you can deduct all expenses that are ordinary and necessary to your business. And so right here, I just want to sidebar, because I had an incident with a truck driving client the other day, and he asked me, could he deduct his 1981 Impala that he had custom work done on? And no, if it's not wrapped and you're not using it for marketing, advertisement, is not deductible, right? So ordinary and necessary for your business. So that is the key word. Let's make sure that we are deducting expenses that are ordinary and necessary for our business. So as a truck driver, like, well, I can't say that, but as a truck driver, like a blow dryer may or may not be deductible, right? So make sure you talk to a tax professional. So now, this is tax strategies for truck drivers. So deductible expenses depend on your status, right? And if you're a truck driver, you know what I mean by that. You know that it depends on your status. So are you an owner operator? Are you a company driver on a 1099? Or are you a company driver on a W-2, right? So check your status. Like, do you own your own trailer, truck? Are you responsible for all your bills? Or are you a company driver on a 1099 and they take care of repairs and maintenance and you pay everything else? Like, figure out where you are and then make notes of what's deductible to you. Next slide, please. All right, company drivers on a 1099. Listen, company drivers on a 1099. You cannot deduct repairs and maintenance because your employer takes care of all of those responsibilities and repairs for you. So I will tell you what you can deduct. First, I'm telling you what you cannot deduct, right? We're going to start with the can'ts first, and then we can just explore all the cans in a few moments. So company drivers on a 1099, you would not deduct repairs and maintenance because your company is handling that responsibility for you. They are handling that for you. Company drivers on a W-2, you don't really have any write-offs. The company handles all your truck bills, but in some cases, there may be some things that are deductible for you. Now, owner operator, I can't foresee anything that you can't write off as long as what? It's ordinary and necessary for your business. So remember, when taking deductions, be mindful of your business goals and your growth strategy. And if you don't know what a growth strategy is, if you don't have any business goals, call SDA, call Chris, okay? Because taking too many deductions may harm your growth, and we don't want that. That's not what we're here for, right? Nobody wants to pay a lot of money in taxes. However, let's go to Chris, let's go to SDA, and let's see what the plan can be, right? And so we can do what's best for our business and our growth strategy. It's very key. It's very important. So this is why you should hire a professional or go to SDA and get some help. They're there for you. All right. So you can keep me here. Again, you can deduct all expenses that are ordinary and necessary. I just want to keep saying that. Ordinary, necessary. You're going to be walking around and dreaming about ordinary and necessary expenses. And that is exactly what I want you to do. Okay. So what I'm going to do today, I'm not going to go through every single expense that you may be able to deduct, but I'm going to go through some of the expenses that I know are missed. Okay. Some are travel expenses. So example of travel expenses, let's say you're somewhere on the road and the truck breaks down and you have to get back home. Okay. That's an example, right? Licensing fees in the different states that you travel, right? Permits, cab cards. All right. Cell phones that are business required because you may have your GPS information on there, that maybe how dispatch reaches you, right? But there's a portion of that that can be written off if you still use that for personal use. So call a professional, right? And they'll help you figure that out. Your IFTA taxes, your 2290s, right? That's a deductible expense. Any association dues that you have, any memberships that you have, right? Any warranty services that you may have for equipment in your truck. Let's see, any warranty service for like repairs. Owner operators sometimes have these warranty service contracts where they pay a certain amount over time. And then if the truck breaks down, then you can take it in for service, right? Warranty contracts. Any GPS systems that you have installed in your vehicle, right? Depending on the cost and all of that, we may be able to expense it. It may have to be depreciated, and we'll talk a little bit about depreciation before we end here today. So purchases of electronic devices, right, that you use while on the road. Again, that depends, right? If you're on the road and you don't come home, you have to stay home and wait for your clock to reset. You may be able to deduct some meals that those that go home every night can't, right? And then some devices that those that go home every night can't, right? Personal products. If you don't go home at night, that I may be able to like expense that and that be deductible. However, if you go home every night, you can shower at home, right? So I hope you all can see, but truck washes is another thing that I just thought about right now. Repairs and maintenance are very important. You know, every 6 months you do those PMs, right? So just keeping that information. And then this goes back to documentation. You want to make sure that you have the receipts, for this information, right? Not necessarily that you have to prove to your accountant that you spent this money, but God forbid IRS ever comes, we want to be able to prove these deductions, right? We don't want to be audited. We don't want to have penalties and interest. We don't want any of those things. And we want to make sure that we are deducting everything we can, but staying on track with our growth strategies for our business. But don't worry, because a qualified professional can definitely help you with all of these things. These are just notes. These are just tidbits. These are just information to help you ask the right questions when you go to your chosen professional, right? And then don't forget, Chris can help. SDA can help. Okay, so like you're not alone in this, right? And DSB Solutions can help too. Like, get the help you need, right? Help is available. You have 3 people here on this call right now that is willing to help you do whatever you need to do for your business. So next slide, please. All right, and I think I'm almost done here. So this is another big missed deduction. More so for owner operators, if you own your own truck and trailer, right? And it needs to be titled in the business name. And so what does that mean, titled in the business name? So my name is Danielle Cherie Brown, but my business is DSB Solutions. So I can't deduct this truck and trailer under Danielle Cherie Brown if I'm using it for DSB Solutions. We have to remember that even though we may own and operate these businesses, they are separate entities according to the government, right? And so just make sure that when you're purchasing trailers and you're purchasing trucks, that owner operators, that you're getting titled in the business name. All right. So once you have that, then you can depreciate it because it's not considered a personal vehicle. And so you can purchase these large assets and you can use the deductions over time. And that's just what depreciation is. So IRS rules, you're not necessarily allowed to expense a $40,000 trailer, but you may be able to deduct, let's, for an example, $14,000 the first year, and then you can take the remaining balance over the remaining of the years of the life of the asset, right? Blah, 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 Danielle. I know. Just call a tax professional and they will help you understand all the lingo, right? So also improvements to depreciable items are deductible as well. So if you have to go inside your truck and make some improvements to it, you can add it onto the value of the asset, right? You can't expense your upgrades in your truck, but it can add to the value of the asset and it can potentially increase your deduction slightly, right? Because we want to spend our money well. And this is why I'm here, to help us spend our money well, get the tax deductions we need. And this is why I believe SDA partnered with me and we partnered together, because at the end of the day, we just want you all to go and be great, right? Be great and grow. And so that's it. And I hope that I answered everyone's questions and cleared anything. Oh, there is a question in the chat, Chris. Amazing. Yay. So here's my contact information, you all. DSB Solutions. You can visit me online at www.dsbsolutions.net. You can check me out on Facebook, DSB Solutions 01, Instagram at DSB Solutions. I am here to help. And don't forget, call me, call SDA, reach out to Chris. Like, I love Chris. Like, for real, he's great. I'm impartial, you all. So there's contact information. Next slide, please. So if you're looking to schedule an appointment with me, I do have free discovery calls. You can just scan this QR code here and it'll pull up my nice little Calendly that I have worked on since I've been with Chris. I'm loving it. And so you can schedule a resolution call. Let's say you have any issue right now with IRS and you just don't know what direction to go. You can schedule a $50 resolution call. If there's documentation involved, you can send that to me. I have a secure upload, and then we can discuss it. You're just kind of paying a little bit for a little time, a little expertise, and then $125 for a deep dive. So that's if you want to start a trucking business, because you may be here because you're trying to figure out what to do, right? And you don't know what steps to take, right? I charge, SDA is free, like, and it's just the reality of it, because we, we work together. So like, just get the help you need in whatever area you need it. It is available. And that's what I really want to express today. So next, here's some freebies. free. I love free. Who doesn't love free? So you can scan this QR code here and you can go to Gumdrop. I have some free resources here for you. Business tips for startups. So if you want to start again, or you know someone that wants to start again, or like I even encourage people that have started, like go back, I'm sure you'll pick up something. Fiscal management and tax tips. That's for any business, a for-profit business. Then there we are, tax tips for truck drivers. You all have a special place in my heart. So tax tips for truck drivers is there. So if you're like, you want a detailed list, because remember, I didn't go through all the deductions available today, there's a more detailed list in this free ebook, right? If you want a detailed list, so you didn't take notes as far as what they might ask you as far as EIN or startup dates, download the free book. It'll tell you all that in a little bit more detail. And last but not least, I have fiscal management. If you could go back one, fiscal management for nonprofits. So if you want to start a nonprofit, have a nonprofit, free books and contact information from me is also in those books as well. So again, last but not least, there I am. That is how you locate me. I thank you all again for this time and this space. Thank you, SDA. Thank you, everyone that's gonna watch the video or is here with me today. I hope that you learned something. I hope that it opens your mind to a different perspective. Thank you so much, Chris. You're muted, Chris. You're still muted.
Thank you, Danielle. We're going to move on to a couple of questions that we have in the chat, and we're going to leave this screen up here. So please take the survey. It's a way for us to best understand your business's needs and what type of business you have. And that helps us create programming that is more specific to the needs of people in business by filling out the survey. I appreciate everybody's time today, and we'll move on to a question that we have in the chat. Miss Emma Westfall has a question. Could a trucker who rents expense improvements to the interior of the truck?
Emma, because I'm not sure I'm clear on when you say who rents. Are you renting the truck? And I would say if you're renting the truck, no, you can write off, yes, rent the truck. No, improvements to that truck is not deductible to you. It's based on who owns the truck. So yeah, and I'm not a lawyer, but I would actually like maybe reach out to Chris and have someone look at that agreement, because you can't, it's not deductible for you. It's a rental truck and it's not titled to you.
Yeah, and the expenses that you would have updating the interior of a truck, and it's not yours, owned by your business entity, would make it a little bit difficult to be able to claim that responsibly on your tax filings.
Exactly. And what I would do for a client, because I know contracts can be like a little, sticky. So like, because I'm always positioning my clients to pass audit if IRS ever comes, right? And so with that, I would like to see the agreement and what does that say? Because it may be a way to expense those costs, but I don't know without seeing that paperwork.
Another thing is when we go to look at rents, as in maybe storing your tractor trailer in a lot, those are expenses that you incur during downtimes. And those expenses are extremely important because it doesn't go towards uptime. So you are spending money while you're not making money. And that is a very important deduction to have if you're having your truck or trailer stored in a lot. That rent parking is a huge deduction for you as you go forward and take more time to be on the road. You'll be able to say, I have less rents, which is good news. But if you're having to store your vehicles, then you definitely want to claim that as an expense to go against your P&L.
Right. And then just this one last part for Emma, what you're paying to rent the truck is deductible. So.
Excellent. If anybody else has any other questions, please place them in the chat and we'll happily answer them here. We've got about 5 more minutes left till the presentation is over. Thank you, Emma, for those questions. That was helpful for the other people here in the audience as well. So once again, please take our survey. We're definitely interested in what your needs are. We'll get the responses of those surveys and we can reach out to you directly. And always, you can reach us at the SDA, and you can learn more about us through the southlanddevelopment.org webpage. And with that, we're going to close out the presentation, and we appreciate everybody's time for coming here today. You can find this also on the Southland Development's YouTube page for future reference. That'll be up in most likely by the end of the week or the beginning of next week. So once again, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Danielle, for the presentation. And we look forward to seeing you at our future events that'll be coming up in the Southland. Oh, there they are. Unleashing Entrepreneurial Leadership, March 19th at the Sip Wine Bar in Tinley Park on Oak Park Avenue. And then also She Inspire Women of Impact and Inspiring Change on March 28th from 5 to 7. These are awesome presentations to honor Women's History Month. And we also get the opportunity to network with other business owners, and many, many things come with networking with other business owners. There's potential that you didn't know. There's friends that are in the market right next to you. And these events always end up making some friends with mutual business owners using each other's services and products. So once again, thank you everybody for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you on our next presentations or our next events. Have a wonderful day.